You did not just hit me with the throwback. Nobody calls me Nathan, alright? She did not mean to call me that on live. Nobody calls me that. She's known me for a very long time. She's known me for a very, very, very long time, so she gets away with that. Please, nobody call me Nathan.
We're going to be talking about psychedelics and hallucinogens, how it affects people, and how it can change your perception. Hey, Sharon, after you take it. And disclosure, this is for educational purposes only. We are not encouraging people to use illegal drugs. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
But I do want to say, because I used to go to a lot of seminars, thank you, Terrell, about drug rehabs. I used to work with addicts, and they're actually looking into using psychedelics and hallucinogenics to treat people with addiction and depression. Have you heard about that? Well, scientists are starting to notice how it does help treat people who do have addictions and depression. Yeah.
Yeah, there's certain countries that it's already legal in, like Portugal, where it's treated as a disease for people who have it, and less people are dying over there from overdoses. More people are getting help, so less people are addicted. As to where, you know, here it's really bad, the addictions that people have here. A lot of different psychedelics and other different drugs.
Yeah, there's kind of like a crazy stigma attached to it too. Welcome, Goddess of Beauty. I noticed with me, when I was starting to do research about it, a lot of people were like, oh yeah, that's a white people drug. Like black people don't use it, which is incorrect.
Yeah. Some of these psychedelics have been around for years, and a lot of them are from tribal villages where most of the people are dark skinned, you know. I mean, this is from because white people are using it because they obviously went to these lands and took these people's stuff. I mean, I don't think we're going to get into that. What we might get into that on this, but you know, yeah, these things have been used for centuries, like 6,000 BC. You know, cannabis. You know, it may not be a psychedelic, but it's been around. And fungus, you know, using shrooms, that's been around, and it is being used for beat depression now. Psilocybin is really being treated. In some places, it's legal now to use it as a drug. They're testing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Terrell saying hallucinating will happen extremely fast. I'm not sure which drug you're talking about. Fast. For me, it took a little bit. But before we go over further, my boy Nate, you're a rapper. I like to call you a philosopher. You be on some deep shit. You're also a vegan chef. He is very passionate about veganism, and he makes amazing foods that are 100% vegan. You be coming out
life, baby.
Yeah. And when you know him, like this is his mood now. This is him always. Like he's all loving and all that. So thank you for doing this with me, Nate, today.
No doubt. Love it. Anything good knowledge out there and kick some information that, you know, people don't get to hear, because especially if you're from America, you know, America is different from a lot of other countries because we're constricted to where we are and what we get taught at certain places. You know, you don't get to learn about these things because a lot of people are have religion, and the religion tells them it's bad, so stay away from these people and anybody that does this because it's bad and it's evil. You know.
Yes. That's definitely how
stigma.
Right. So, starting off, I'm going to tell my story. If you're comfortable with telling yours, so that's up to you. Or even if you have a story or a friend's story. Mine happened a long, long time ago. Me and Nate, this was a long, long time ago. I just want to say that. So, because I'm gainfully employed, and of course I would never do anything illegal to jeopardize my job. So, my experience was I had shrooms. So I made a tea because I hated how it tasted. But I put the whole bag in the tea because I didn't know what I was doing, right? So I was laying there, and this is why I'm confused by Terrell's statement about it happening so quickly. I don't know the time stamp, but all I know is all of a sudden my arm went numb, and I was sitting there like, I don't feel nothing, like nothing's happening. All of a sudden my arm went numb, and so I had Michael I had created a playlist that was supposed to be for trippy music, I guess. But I started to see the music. But the music was very angry to me. So I had to have him turn off the music because I was freaked out because it seemed angry. Like I was seeing the music, and then I was going back and forth between being very happy and crying, and then I was calling my friends randomly, and I felt like I was a psychic. Like I felt like I could see what they've been through in life. So that was like I would call someone and I could like feel or see what they've been through in life. And yeah, it was just like a very emotional journey for me. And I remember too, I had to go to the bathroom, and it was such a long journey for me to get to the bathroom.
It takes a minute.
And then I couldn't pee, and then I started crying because I couldn't breathe, and I was freaking out. But Michael was like a very good there because he was like, it's okay. It's all right. Yeah. So then it was like when I finally was able to pee, it was like the most beautiful experience in my life. It was like insane.
Yeah, that's times
after that, like my perception and everything was it changed. CC talking about I was annoying. Anyway, she was one of the people that was called. I would know. Yeah, but I saw things so much differently. Like the fact that I was able to see music helped me realize like how much music can impact your of course it can impact your mood, but I didn't know to the depth that music
that's what
was.
These good psychedelics like this are for, with the right amount. With the right amount that you take, you got to have that good amount that you can connect to that other realm of energy to open up your third eye. That's what psychedelics are for, to open up your third eye, to see things from a different perspective of life and connect with that energy that a lot of things talk about. It's just a cosmic energy, and that's how you can feel everything, and you can see things because you feel energy. There's energy in music. There's energy in us. There's energy in stillness. There's just energy everywhere, and that's what you feel. You take that certain amount of shrooms. I think it's the best way for me right now. And there's other ways. I'm probably may or may not take those journeys because some of those journeys are really strong, but it's all natural. And if you travel to these certain places, you can do it.
Yeah, and when I retire, I'm definitely interested.
Definitely, just in case. Might not come back from some of these journeys. I want to come back and be like, bro.
But you know what? CC's asking, how do you know the amount to take?
Depends on the things. And speaking for shrooms, if you take anywhere from 3.5 grams, which is a eighth, you can take them. That's a half quarter. That's about that's a heroic dose to the super heroic, which is a full 7 grams, and that will definitely have your ass seeing shit. It'll bring out whatever you see inside of you. It'll, good or bad things around you. Your stomach will hurt because it is a natural poison, but it's, something it'll go and come, and it'll come and go. It depends on your stomach. Like me, I obviously had issues with my stomach anyways. That's part of the reason I went vegan. So,
right.
That shit was strong.
So
but I don't have those issues no more. Cause, no.
Yeah. So she's saying she tried it but felt nothing for a second or two, but see, I've heard it helps your journey. Oh, it's also based on your tolerance to drugs. So if you have a high tolerance of drugs, do you need to take more, do you know? Or
it also depends on, sometimes people got not so good stuff. The quality ain't as good because you can mushrooms real easy.
asking if you wanted to share past experiences, hallucinations that you've had or that you've heard other people having that help translate to like how you see things now.
Past experiences.
Yes, very past.
Yeah. I don't say I like LSD as much, but other people like it. It's better for them. Me, I've never had too many good trips on it. It was always crazy, but that was always because it really, you have to be in a surrounding that is really good. You know, it's really good for you, and everything has to be perfect for you for that. But them, I wouldn't say. But the shrooms, I took a good amount of shrooms a couple different times. I've microdosed on them. And the last time is when I took the most at once, and it was a good trip. And it made me see animals, and I saw them crying, and I felt the energy, and I felt the love. My empathy grew that I already had. So it just made me fully aware of myself and the greater being that I could be and my path that may be on this earth. So I myself just didn't want to kill anything else after that. So I became fully vegan, quit killing bugs. I didn't want anything around that, you know, around me like that. Completely try to be as kind as I can be, you know, to everything around me. To not be greedy or selfish, you know. It's just the thing that it helped me, you know, completely change for a lot better. You know, and that's helped me with everything, anger, everything. I'm able to like really stop now. But when back the old me, you know, from where I'm from, you don't get a chance to stop and breathe before you have to fight somebody back or bust somebody's head open, you know. And now, you know, there's a chance. I mean, things are different now, and I have a chance now. You know, I mean, I can just stop and get a situation from getting to that point if I can. You know, I've also quit drinking, so that's going to be another good thing for me that's different. I ain't going to say nothing about alcohol because a certain amount is good for anybody, but I've been drinking a mighty long time. That's why I'm not drinking. Like, you can drink a small amount. It's not that bad for you. It just depends on what you drink, because I also only drink vegan alcohol. So alcohol is a total different thing.
I didn't even know wine, there was unvegan wine. You have to look for vegan wine. Well, I know for me, I feel like what it opened up inside a different perspective as far as going into it. I was looking for answers about the universe and the things I've been taught, how maybe possibly how I was raised was not like very accurate and very confining. So I think for me it opened up this whole other spectrum, like when you were talking about the third eye and everything and tapping into that, like I felt like it made me tap into, because I already kind of felt like I had kind of psychic or like I would see visions and then like the visions would happen.
Like premonition.
Yeah. And being how I was raised, I was told that, you know, that's bad and that's not, I'm probably seeing things and stuff like that. So when I was actually able to experience it in its entirety, it made me more comfortable with that side of myself. Even though I'm not trying to be out here being a psychic to nobody else. But I'm more comfortable instead of freaked out when like these premonitions happen and things like that. Now, something we also were talking about that neither one of us have tried, but I actually wanted to try later in life, but you scared to, is DMT. So can you explain what DMT is? Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
every day, like I'm telling you, like these things are certain things that are very strong and very, whew, there's certain things in this world that are wild, and this is one of them. This is one thing you only feel with DMT is when you are born and when you die. It's something that's released from the pineal gland. It's what you get when it releases. It's the endorphins, or the and you only get that. So when you smoke the DMT, from what I'm told by every person that's ever did it, is you see fractals, you see things, you really like go out for a minute, like, but you really need to be in a good positive setting, in a good setting.
And that's something that's very important too, because I did read that before I tried the shrooms, I went in it with like a pure spirit, like joy, like excitement, because I guess they said while you're tripping, whatever you're feeling before that, it can fuck up your trip or mess with it if you're not in like a good place.
I used to more so before I obviously had my enlightenment, but I still do. Obviously, like I freak out when I can't wash my hands. It's like that's how if you have a bad trip, that's what it's like. Like if I've cut something nasty with my hands and I have nowhere to wash my hands, I'm freaking out until I can wash my hands just inside of my brain. I mean, I don't show it to nobody too much. I'll just stand there with my hands up like this, looking crazy, you know, trying not to thing or keep my hands balled up, you know, using my pinky to open things. But you know, it's like that. You have a bad trip if you're not in a good space. If somebody just comes in and bugs you or something, it's like, hey. That's just like how I don't know if we could touch this subject, but either way, it's just like how police approach people who are on drugs and how they're approaching them very aggressively with guns drawn. Like, I don't know how you expect somebody to react. You know, it's that same way. You're going to react crazy. You're going to bug out with things like sending you out your element. Nobody wants their element.
Right. Now, can you talk to us about, you are involved in, is it called psychedelic music? What's this genre called?
Oh, well, psychedelic music's been around because music, as you said, it already makes you feel stuff, and I love psychedelic music since it's back in, you know, Jimi Hendrix, like Pink Floyd, like uh, like Flying Lotus. You know, I mean, some of these artists, you know, may or may not, but a lot of their music is good to listen to. Like, I don't know per se what all some of these new artists do or take that, you know, are in the scene with this electronic music that I do now with DJ music, you know, but I know like just the tempos of certain songs, what you can do and what you play, like it always it goes with it, you know, like you would have house to fast upbeat stuff like MDMA, you know, and so you'd be rolling, you know, you want something fast, you know, and you're feeling good and shit, and if you're on most people who are tripping balls, you know, tripping bass, you know, they're going to be wanting something, you know, a little happy too, but you know, depending on the vibes, because in the EDM scene, everybody's got their own music that they like and the things that they like to do, you know. But some people, you get this really slow head banging bass music, you know. I like it all, obviously. I dig it all. I love music. It sets every mood for me. Like under the influence of anything or not, it puts me under an influence. That's why I listen to it. That's why I got it. Because you know, it's art. Music is art. Everything is art. You know, art with these drugs. Don't abuse them. Find the art with them. You know, and it'll treat you right. You abuse it, it's gonna do. It's gonna kick your ass. You know, you get it right. It's gonna treat you right.
Also, I'm wearing the N-Dowd hoodie dress. May has the very first N-Dowd tee on. See, the good friends. It's important to have good friends. That's a throwback. Gotta get you upgraded. But yeah, so in conclusion with everything, like you said, respect it, and it will respect you. What you put into it is what you're going to get back from it if you choose to do it. I also, the ayahuasca, I think a lot more people are starting to know about that. Did you want to touch on that right quick before we go out? Because that's also something I want to do when I retire.
Ayahuasca is a root, and ayahuasca is a root. It's gonna make you really hallucinate. I haven't done it, but I know about it. I know what it does. A lot of shamans do it, use ayahuasca when they're doing their ceremonies and stuff, doing practices. And you will trip really hard on that stuff. You're definitely probably you might throw up, but you might not. It's just something that you'll feel. That's one thing. There's also these bees. There's this place you can go where they climb down and collect this honey from these bees, and you can eat this honey. I don't suggest anybody go do this, obviously, because I'm vegan, but you can trip off this bee honey for days as well. Just like these people that really lick toads. You can really lick a toad somewhere and get fucked up, but I don't think people should be trying to collect these toads and messing with these toads.
But wait, honey is not vegan?
Huh?
Honey is not vegan?
No, because it's part of using a creature's process. That's their honey. That's their process. They made it for them to use and stuff like that. We're better. We can use agave nectar, coconut. Coconut nectar is what I agree we all should use.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. So.
Okay, well, I learned something new. I've been, I have been using agave, actually, since I started the electric diet.
Because a lot of people don't even know about bone char and sugar, bone char-free sugar. People use white sugar and think it's vegan. Yeah, they always say vegan. You see sugar on recipes and everybody be like, oh, it's vegan because it's just sugar. It's just sugar. No, that's just, sugar don't come white. It's charred white. And most of the refining processes uses cattle bone to char that shit white. So, and I heard back in the day it was made white. Huh?
It was bleached white? Or is that flour?
Both. I don't do bleached flour either. I'd make sure it's unbleached, but yes.
Right. Well, we're definitely going to have to do another episode where you outline veganism. Where we dive deep into that, because that's been a crazy journey. I've been in and out of it, I have to admit. When people call me out. But I think it's good when people try it for at least a week or a month or something. It does a lot to detox.
One day, at least a few days, try it. It'll bring brought my blood pressure down. I used to eat fried pork chops, fried all this, fried chicken, fried everything. I'm from North Carolina. We ate everything out here. From the city to the coast, we ate everything. It's wild. I ate everything. And being a chef, I ate everything from everywhere across the world. I was cooking everything. I was multicultural, so I was cooking everything. I was cooking all kinds of food from Asia. Like, it's wild. So, and French food, Italian food. I was cooking everything. So,
that's what I love. There's so many options when you're a vegan. It doesn't have to be lettuce. Even though that's what my friends get me when I go visit. But that's.
I can make you fall in love just as much with the vegan food as I can with other food.
I know you have some really dope places that you found. But in cleansing, we have learned that we are connected to everything. We are all one. We are all energy. This is something that you will see clearly when you join other people who have done stuff like this. And you just start to look at shit differently and appreciate shit more. Right?
Definitely learn appreciation of life and different things. If you can open up, don't abuse it, or you won't find that change. You got to find a good spiritual connection with it, or else you're just still making excuses to be a part of that conformity. I want to get and all that. But anyways.
I know. That's why I call you
too crazy. Like I'm like part of some cult, or like anti everything. I'm not. I just really want kindness and peace, and I see too much greed and fighting amongst humans when it shouldn't be like this. We should be far more connected in advance with everything.
I think how I would describe you are anti-conformist. Like you are against people who conform themselves to a certain way of thinking that's like very selfish or that hurts other people. If you conform to anything, it has to be very loving and open.
Yes. Something that's not selfish. You have to be selfless in this world.
Yeah.
We're all intertwined, so we all must be intertwined because we are already connected. So there's no point in being, hostile to what is, that you're already connected to.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I probably should have had a meditation session before I had this conversation. Thank you, Nate.